Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. This is the first line in a book that Avery claims he did not write. 2 weeks ago, a YouTube channel called Avery the Mayo uploaded a YouTube video titled Weird Book I Did Not Write, where he shows us a mine that supposedly he never built. Inside the mine is a chest that Avery did not place, and inside the chest is a book that Avery did not write. Inside the book is a very strange message. Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. Don't be fooled, it's listening. You can't outsmart it, it's listening to me. It's watching me. It isn't from this world. At the crossroads, don't turn left. 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 Over and over, followed by a sequence of numbers. And that's it. It seems impossible that a whole mine just appears in your world without your knowledge, but Avery explains in the description of the video that the laptop he's playing on is from a storage locker. It already had Minecraft installed, and this world already existed, but when Avery first loaded it up, it was just a normal world. He only now discovered this mine a few hundred blocks from his house. So, in that case, what is this book? The contents are strange, and it's not evident what they refer to. If anything, they just sound like some crazy rambling. But the numbers at the end are clearly some sort of code, so maybe we can solve it and figure out what this book is talking about. Except we can't. The numbers go higher than 26, so it's not any alphabetical code. There are 4 sections, not 3, so it isn't coordinates. And in fact, there's not a single cipher that comes up as a good match for this code. If it is a code, it's unlike any code I've ever seen, and I wasn't able to decipher it. So, is that it? A strange, one-off YouTube video and a dead end? Not quite, because for 2 frames at the very end of the video, Avery's inventory flashes a random pattern of blocks, and this time there is a code, because taking the first letter of the name of every block and capitalizing it if there is more than one, you get a string that perfectly matches the length of a Google Drive link, that when you enter takes you to a folder. And this is where the true mystery begins. The mystery of a Minecraft world that doesn't exist. Opening the video named Footage 1, we can see a player in the exact same spot Avery was in the last video, except now he has way more items than he had last time. Presumably this is from his house, and he's come to use this mine in survival as part of this world. The book is now gone from the chest, but it could be that Avery just burned it because it creeped him out, or it's just this book in his inventory. Regardless, Avery lines up with the other strip mine and begins to start a new one into the wall, but when he does, he finds this. Nothing weird, it's just a cave, and Avery walks in to begin exploring, until he stops and sees this. It's hard to make out, but as he walks closer we can see what it is. Moss and grass. This is immediately a red flag, because this kind of terrain does not generate in caves. Avery checks underneath it, but there's nothing else either, and when he runs back to grab his torches, he notices yet another patch of moss in the corner of the cave. Again, not natural, but not leading anywhere either. It's only when he heads back down the cave does he see it. A tree. Avery approaches the clump of greenery, and there it is. A tree unlike any other oak tree in the entire game. Whatever this is, it isn't normal. Avery backtracks a bit, and we get a better look at this shrub, for lack of a better word. And after some hesitation and circling around it, Avery decides to try mining the tree. And he does, with no problem. It looks just like a normal tree, except normal trees don't generate underground. And it's not the only one. As Avery goes deeper and deeper into the cave, he passes larger and larger patches of greenery, coming across more shrubs, and even more trees, and even more moss. He pauses to talk at one point, but instead of commenting on the trees, he brings up something else. It's weird, we've only seen stone. And I guess he's right, the walls of this cave don't have any diorite, granite, andesite, or ores, but come on, there's a bigger elephant in the room here. At some point though, Avery's wish gets granted, and the cave turns into terracotta, tuff, and deep slate. The greenery gets larger and larger, with the trees growing bigger and bigger. Until finally, Avery reaches the end. Avery stops for several long seconds, just taking everything in. The room is a giant cave of green, with strange, unnaturally large trees forming a staircase on the back wall. The floor is covered in a massive field of moss, scattered with the strange trees we saw earlier. Avery slowly heads down the cavern wall, being careful not to take too much damage while maneuvering his way to the bottom. He looks around in awe as he explores the chamber, and from closer up, we can see a tunnel right between the massive tree gates. Avery searches around the trees for a few minutes, seemingly mesmerized by the build, and we can see that these gates are made of trees stacked on trees stacked on trees, made of spruce, mud, and oak. But the question here is obvious. What is this place? This kind of terrain, obviously, doesn't generate naturally, so who made it, and how does it just appear in Avery's world? Well, if there's any answer to that question, it's through this tunnel, because finally, Avery decides to stop sightseeing and heads down the tunnel at the center of the room. Avery walks through the mud brick tunnel, turning to glance behind him every few steps, but of course, nothing is there. The world is set to single player. At least, it seems that way. Until this happens. Something is wrong. It's almost impossible to notice, but at the far edge of the tunnel, the first pair of torches have suddenly been wiped out. Avery stares for a few seconds and continues walking. Another pair of torches is gone. I'm not scared of torches turning off. And then another. I don't know what kind of practical joke this is, but I already heard you in the... I'm not scared of a game. I don't know why I just jumped down. I wasn't scared, but I felt compelled. I've never felt like that in my life. What is going on here? Things just went from strange to incredibly creepy in a matter of seconds. This doesn't just happen on a normal world, but Avery did say he found this world on a computer he got from a storage locker. So maybe this is just a world that the old owner of this computer created, and it's just some strange adventure horror map. Case closed. Except it's not, because the video files aren't the only thing in this Google Drive folder. If you remember, there's also this PDF, and opening it, we see this. My exploration into a strange tunnel I found in my Minecraft world. I've been playing this world for a while and just discovered this. This is my documentation of the search. Notably, when I installed Minecraft, this world came pre-created. Always thought that was a little strange, but I'm not really sure. This seems okay enough, but remember what Avery said earlier. He found this computer in a storage locker with Minecraft installed. Not he installed Minecraft and this world was there. Admittedly, it's a pretty small difference, but still, why the conflicting stories? Something you may have also noticed that I can't explain is why Avery's name is now censored. He wasn't censored in the previous videos, but now he's both hidden his name and changed his skin, almost like he's hiding from something. But there's still a lot more of this footage, and if you want to figure out what's happening in this world, why it exists, and what it has to do with Avery, we have to keep watching, as Avery runs from whatever it is that's hiding in this world. Avery says he has to keep moving, even if he doesn't exactly know why, and the only way to go is down. Avery takes a leap into the giant pool of water before him and swims down into a junction of tunnels. After some hesitation, he burrows himself in the left wall for air before swimming down the left tunnel. He continues to navigate through the dark water, the tunnel getting narrower and narrower, with no end in sight. Until it opens into a giant cavernous room with just enough space at the top to get a bit of air. When Avery descends again, we can see tunnel openings sprawling across the walls. Avery scans around. There's no marker of where to go, just tunnels upon tunnels as far as the eye can see. And then he hears it. The same sound as when the whispers played previously. Avery rushes to dig into the wall, and as he blocks himself in, we can hear the whispers again. Quieter, but still there, as if they're passing by him. When the coast is clear, Avery digs out. But now what? He has no choice but to gamble on a tunnel and hope it's correct. He scans the walls again, no obvious sign of which one to pick. So finally, he rolls the dice. The tunnel leads to another junction, and again, after a slight hesitation, Avery goes left. The tunnel continues, getting narrower and narrower and narrower, until finally he finds himself in the oasis. Avery looks around the room, strangely, almost peaceful. He's in the middle of a square pond, flanked on all sides by the same uncanny trees. He stares off at the water for a second before towering up and getting a good look around. Nothing but trees as far as the eye can see. For a moment, he pauses, before something snaps, and he crafts a boat to get to the center of the lake. Without hesitation, he dives down into the tunnel and plugs up the hole. He makes another trip for good measure, plugging it even further. If this thing comes through here again, it has to break that, but I need to explore. He sails back to the edge of the lake. What it can't avoid doing is loading the chunk. Avery chops a few trees and crafts a hopper with the spare iron in his inventory. His plan is simple: set a trap for the thing following him. But wait, did I miss something? Because how does he know that something is following him? Sure, those torches turned off, and yeah, we heard those noises before, but there's actually an even stronger piece of evidence I haven't mentioned. Remember when Avery said this? I already heard you in the cave. Well, it took me a second to figure out what exactly he meant, but then I heard this. It's almost impossible to make out, but on a few separate instances, while Avery was walking in that original cave, he would randomly pause for a second or two, and now we know why. He was listening. Every time he paused, for just a brief moment, you could hear footsteps on the stone behind him, stopping just a fraction of a second too late to be quiet. But okay, if something is somehow really following Avery in a single-player world, how can he stop it, or at least get it to reveal itself? Well, that's exactly what he's doing right now. Like he said, he needs time to look around and explore this world, but while he's gone, anything can just swim through the hole and replace the blocks to make it look like nothing happened. But if Avery turns down his render distance and puts items in this hopper, if he then goes far enough away and unloads the chunk, the only way for the hopper to be empty when he returns is if something loaded the chunk while he was gone. And then, whatever was following him would be exposed. The trap is set. Now it's time to explore. Avery walks through the trees, avoiding the lake so as to not load the chunk. Every inch of this place looks exactly the same. The same gray floor, the same strange trees. Everywhere he looks, there's nothing. Until, just in the corner of the screen, there's a sign. But it's hard to spot, and Avery doesn't seem to see it, and he keeps walking. Then he pauses. Interesting. That's the third sign we've seen so far. What? Where? Third sign? I've only seen this one. But it turns out he's right. Going back and re-watching the footage, just barely hidden in the corners of the screen are two other signs Avery crossed earlier in the recording, though he gave no indication at the time that he noticed them. Avery goes back to all three signs. All of them are blank, so I don't know what to make of it, but Avery seems to be satisfied and he explains why. These signs all seem to point to one place. Both of these angled ones point in the same direction. And he's right. If you line up a coordinate grid with the location and rotation of the signs, you get this. So he's right, all of them point a certain way, and if you trace out their intersection, it hits one specific point. He also pulls off this brilliant move, which you rarely see from these protagonists, by turning the difficulty to peaceful because he ran out of food. Absolutely genius. But with that said, he returns to the lake to check on his contraption. And nothing showed up. Items are still flowing out of the hopper, which would be impossible if anything had loaded the chunk. Avery tells us exactly this. Nothing came through. Not to mention, the blocks are still in the same position Avery placed them to plug the hole. Now that he's shaken off whatever was following him, Avery sails back, presumably to find the intersection points of the signs. But before he does that, he opens up chat and says this. Something is here. What? How? Why is Avery saying that? Why isn't he sending it in chat? What did he see? I don't know if it can hear me. But I'm not taking any chances. The grass block. When Avery left the chunk, he didn't just set one trap for the entity, he set two. Without mentioning anything to us, he placed a grass block next to a block of dirt. In Minecraft, grass can't spread if the chunk isn't loaded. The only way that this block is now grass is if something other than Avery loaded this chunk. I'm not scared, but my gut says to keep moving. Maybe I am scared. The other sign was pointed
Baby, I'm home again. I thought that I could run away.
Avery walks through a tunnel which quickly turns into a maze.
More to say,
And slowly but surely, dead end after dead end, Avery navigates through it.
to be somebody else. It's alright. Baby, here I am. I was lost. Now I'm found again. It's alright. Baby, here I am. It's alright. 'Cause baby,
Avery is clearly smart. Smart enough to set a trap, and smart enough to set a backup. But whatever this thing is that's following him, it's smart too. Smart enough to block up the tunnel it entered from. Smart enough to refill the hopper with items after loading the chunk. Smart enough to hide its presence. This world seems to be guiding Avery somewhere. The whispers in this tunnel coercing him to enter the cave. The signs pointing to the secret entrance under the tree. Whatever this world is, it's leading Avery. But to what? We don't know. All we do know is that he isn't alone. And finally, Avery exits the maze into another giant room with what looks like a cipher above a door, with 3 levers right in front of it. Avery stares up at it, says he'll need a pen and paper, and blocks up the tunnel where he came from. The footage ends with him staring up at the code, deep in thought. From what I can see, the code atop the doorway looks something like this. It doesn't immediately remind me of anything, and plugging it into a cipher decoder gives me no ideas either. Running each of the candidate ciphers just gives gibberish every single time. Whatever this code is, there's unfortunately no way that I, or Avery, can solve it. The second half of the footage picks up with 17 minutes of just staring at the wall. And then he gets it. Okay, I guess it was solvable. Avery says it's a good poem, but doesn't actually reveal what it said, only that it uses cipher stacking, a technique where 2 ciphers are layered one on top of the other to make a code almost undecipherable. How Avery actually solved it with a pen and paper is beyond me, but the puzzle isn't over yet. There's still this gate, which Avery suspects is some sort of combination lock, but instead of a pen and paper, his solution this time is a bit more, how do I put this? Efficient. And with that, wait. Who's Durlord 3? For the first time in this footage, Avery's sensor bar lingers for just a second too short, and we get a glimpse of the name. This isn't Avery's name. This isn't Avery's skin. Maybe the reason that we got 2 different stories about where this world came from is because the player we've been watching this entire time isn't Avery at all. But if that's the case, then who is this? The world at the beginning is clearly the same one that Avery was playing on. So what's going on here? If it is Avery on an alt account, why the conflicting stories in the description and the document? And if it's not Avery, then who is this other person, and why are they claiming that this is their world they found? I genuinely just don't know, but the only way to find out is to keep watching as Durlord walks through the tunnel after the puzzle and finds himself in the village. It's empty. This village is strange. It's clearly abandoned, if the cobwebs and literal holes in the roof didn't make that obvious, and all the chests and containers have nothing inside of them. There's also an interesting amount of yellow in the carpets, beds, and flooring, but wherever Durlord looks, he can't find anything of interest, no lead on where to go or what to do from here. The fountain and statue in the town center is by far the most eye-catching decoration here, but like we can see, it too is empty. There's no path to take from there. So, is this the final area then? The final answer to what's been going on with this world and what's been following him? I'm not sure, and clearly Durlord isn't either, since he keeps looking around for anything out of the ordinary, anything that might give him a clue of where to look next. They think that devotion will save them. Rest assured, it will not. Not that it will do them any good to believe that anyway. The ones who realized it pretend they didn't. But it doesn't help that there are some of them who truly believe they'll be saved. The king is coming, Maya. If anything, I wager that their king is already here. It's watching me write this. I don't particularly care. I just want this to be done with. The sooner I can leave, the better. He's arrived. I don't know why anyone is surprised to find that out. This is exactly what they were hoping for. I'm going. I'm leaving this here in the rare case someone finds it. If you have found this, I implore you, Turn back. Disconnect. Forget about this world. It's not for you. If you've come here, you must be curious. I know you must want to continue onwards. So I know that this is a heavy ask. But please, do not go any further. For your own good, do not. crossroads. Don't turn left. Don't be fooled. It's listening. You can't outsmart it. It's listening to me. It's watching me. It isn't from this world. At the crossroads, don't turn left. 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 And the footage ends. Right there. Durlord was the person who wrote the book in Avery's world. How? It shouldn't even be possible that the tunnel led him back to that mine. Durlord found this world on his computer, and Avery found Durlord's old laptop in the storage locker and has been playing on it ever since. But what is this world? What was following Durlord in this footage, and most importantly, what was behind those gates? I didn't put that sensor bar there, that was in the original footage. Whatever is behind that black square was enough to drive probably the smartest protagonist I've ever seen into running for his life. Something that a whole village of people was trying to summon. Something that this entire world has been hiding. A king? What does that even mean? I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you one thing. The code at the end of the book, now with this footage, we can solve it. Each number corresponds to one slot in Durlord's inventory. 1 here and 36 here. Take the first letter of each item, or whatever number is indicated after the dash. From that, we can get this. Run Avery. It's here. Durlord was giving one last warning, hoping that whatever was following him wouldn't see. But how? How would he possibly know that Avery would find this world? There's no way for him to know who Avery even is. Whatever he saw behind those doors, whatever he knows about this world now, we may never understand. But one thing is certain. Whatever was coming for him is coming for Avery next. This isn't over.